Okay, listen to this phrase for a second. Cosmic Energy God, Practical and Bharyato Puja Parati. Now, this is one of the last lines from a service advertisement out of Calcutta, and honestly, it perfectly sets up the wild ride we're about to go on. What on earth could this possibly be an ad for?
So what are we thinking? A spiritual guide? Maybe a tech guy? A wellness guru? A traditional priest? Well, the absolutely incredible thing is, the answer is yes to all of it. And it's all coming from one single person. So the real question becomes, what kind of service covers literally every single aspect of your life? Today we are diving into this truly one-of-a-kind advertisement from Calcutta for a man named Nitish Saha. And what he's offering is, well, it can only be described as a totally integrated service for your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's a model that kind of flies in the face of our modern world of specialization. So let's break it down, layer by layer. To really wrap our heads around this whole thing, you've got to start at the bottom, at the base. Before we get to the cosmic energy and the healing, the foundation of this entire service is something that's actually super familiar to all of us: academic tutoring. And we're not talking about just a little help with homework. I mean, this is the whole shebang. The subjects range from your standard languages and math all the way to the classical language of Sanskrit, and then, boom, right into modern computer science and even AI. This sets up a really solid baseline of conventional intellectual education. It's the kind of thing any parent might be looking for. But believe me, this is just a beginning.
Okay, so from the intellectual, let's move to the next layer up and see how this all builds into the creative side of things. And this is where the service just explodes into the world of art, offering an absolutely incredible range of classes that go way, way beyond your typical after-school program.
Now, what's really fascinating here is just the sheer variety of traditional fine arts that are on the table. We're not just talking about basic drawing skills. This list includes really specialized forms like tanjore painting, right alongside the classics like oil and watercolor. This tells you there's a deep, serious focus on real artistic skill here. And it doesn't just stop with painting. The artistic offerings branch out into practical design. You've got fashion, garment cutting, and look at this, AI graphic design, which loops right back to the modern tech we saw in the tutoring section. And here's where it gets really interesting. Vastu Shastra and numerology are taught right alongside everything else, blending practical design with these ancient spiritual and architectural principles.
This part is just brilliant because it really shows you the personality of the whole service. Tucked away in this long list of classes are these wonderfully specific and charming ones. It's not just still life painting, it's a marigold flower brush art class. It's not just crafts, it's a tie the onion ring class. It just gives you this sense of a very personal, hands-on, and maybe even a little whimsical approach to everything.
So now we've arrived at the very top of the pyramid. This is where the intellectual and the artistic all merge together into a philosophy for total wellness. And this is where the service gets its most ambitious, promising not just an education or a new skill, but a profound physical and mental transformation.
So here's the bottom line. The stated mission of this wellness practice is pretty huge. We're talking about reversing disease and achieving total health, all without using modern medicine. It's an incredibly bold and holistic vision, one that promises a complete overhaul of your lifestyle, guided by this mix of ancient wisdom and really specific daily practices.
And to make it all real, the ad gives very specific instructions. This isn't just some vague advice. It's a detailed step-by-step plan for starting your day with intention, from waking up before the sun for sun gazing, all the way to oil pulling and drinking turmeric water.
And the details get even more specific, almost granular. The ad tells clients they need to chew each bite of food at least 32 times. 32! And the reason? To avoid increasing the toxic burden in the body. It's such a simple, memorable rule that perfectly captures the whole philosophy of mindful, conscious living.
So this whole system really does cover every possible angle of a person's life. You've got the physical practices like grounding and yoga. You have strict dietary rules involving fermented foods and fasting. And it's all tied together with spiritual practices, from specific vibrational chants to yagya fire therapy to just the simple act of practicing gratefulness. It's truly a complete ecosystem for well-being.
And for more specific problems, the service offers therapies that blend the physiological with the neurological. You see these modern-sounding terms like vagus nerve massage and neurotherapy listed right alongside ancient postural advice, like sitting in the malasana squat. It's just a fascinating fusion of all these different systems of knowledge.
So what happens when you put it all together?
Well, the tutor, the artist, and the healer, they aren't actually separate services. They're presented as three pillars of one single, unified philosophy for living a complete and optimized life.
And this comparison really gets to the heart of the whole thing. Most of us, right, we operate on the specialist model. We find one person for math help, another person for art class, and a completely different person for wellness advice. But what's being offered here is the integrated model. One guru, one philosophy that connects the development of your mind, your creative spirit, and your physical body.
Which really leaves us with one final big question. We live in an age of hyper-specialization, where being an expert often means knowing a lot about one very, very small thing. So what do we make of a model that goes in the complete opposite direction? Is there some kind of lost value in having a single, integrated source of guidance for all the different aspects of our lives? It's a fascinating question to consider.